You can't have less to produce what? More. I told you that what makes the difference between white and black is melanin. And if Aaron was white, already on this side of the pole, cannot produce children with more melanin. You have to have more melanin to produce children with more. If you have less already, you can't produce more who will be dark. Are you with me, somebody? So therefore, the common ancestor of both of them could not have been white. By the way, there are only three original people. There have been three original people in history. Adam, the father of us all; Noah, the next father of us all; and Jesus. Jesus is the new Adam, the second Adam. And Noah is the father of the modern race, after the flood. All these individuals, original people, must have the capacity to produce all shades of color. And right now, the one group that science says can produce all shades of color, are black people of today. If Adam were white, they paint him white, and we buy the books. It's in the quarterly too? Help us, somebody. If Adam were white, we would not be in existence. You haven't thought about it yet, but it'll dawn on you later. Because two whites, Adam and Eve, could never have produced black people. You have to have more to produce people with less. And there's this, some of you might have seen it on TV, the Real Eve, History Channel. They say that all people, they did their own research, all people on earth today, doesn't matter black, blue, red, whatever, they collected their DNA samples and checked all that. The common root goes back to African woman. And that's what they call the Real Eve. The African woman is the Real Eve. They trace all these DNA, and they call it the female DNA thing that they trace was, they call it the mitochondrial DNA. Yeah, you pronounce it better than I, that's fine. You get that from your mother, and it goes way back to the, way back. And the one common thread among the people living today, one thread, the common denominator is African woman. Amen. And that's why they put the picture over there. They say all people on earth can trace their mitochondrial DNA to one African woman called Eve. That's their version, but at least the science leads them to that. In other words, original man or woman could not be white. Could not be white. That's not possible. But that's what they have sold to us. Because they really want to erase us from history. Like we don't count. But somehow God will always make us count by his grace. This is the picture they have. And I like the color they showed here. Because the sun has done some numbers on us too, Yes, sir. Yeah, with time. Yeah, because in those days, the sun was not that hot and all of that. It's even temperature. Even it had not rained before. Remember? It had not rained before. The temperature was just even and just beautiful and nice. And you just, gold. You go to the rivers and you see just gold as the bed, form the bed of the river. Everything just was beautiful, serene and calm and whatever, lovely. But now after the flood and the world tilted and everything messed up, now we have extremes. But somewhere you have that even brownish, that brown color. They call it chocolate colored. I like that. And this is from that DVD, Real Eve. This is what some painting in there as the Eve would have been or would have looked like. She had to have some brown, some black somewhere to produce all the shades over here. She had to. Eve had to have some color. And they say Adam. Adam had to be a man of color. When you go back, you have to have more to produce less, and diversity. Amen? So we come to the black Jews. If Jews were not dark-skinned people, then where do the black Jews come from? In the book Kebra Nagast, Honor of the Kings, is where you find the origin of the Falasha black Jews of Ethiopia. The Falasha's ancestors were among those Solomon assigned to go to Ethiopia with his son Melanik by Queen of Sheba and train him in the ways of Yahweh. The spread of Ethiopian Christianity, the true observance of the Sabbath in Ethiopia that Ellen White talks about, the protection of the Ark of the Covenant were done under these black Jews. They are authentic Jews. They are not inferior Jews. They are authentic Jews. That's why the Jewish population could not refuse them. They were Jews. But the question is, how come you have black Jews, dark-skinned Jews, and white Jews? What happened? And what would be the common denominator? Ark of the Covenant, by the way, is not the original Ark of the Covenant. The book says, Kebra Nagas, in the report that when Menelik came to Solomon to visit, Solomon wanted him to stay. And he didn't want to stay because he wanted to go back to his country and send the knowledge that, from his father to Ethiopia and all of that. And so Solomon gave him a model of, not a model, but a miniature ark, kind of what was the word? But he gave him an ark and sent some priests to go with him, so they would train him to worship in the way of his fathers. And those Jews, the Jews from the priesthood, those Jews were the Falasha Jews. And they live in Africa, they remain in Africa, and now they are coming back, or they have come back to Kebra Naga. The Ethiopian story of Makeda, the queen of Sheba, is transmitted to us from the Abyssinian archives. This important document is known as the Kebra Nagas, or Honor of the Kings. The present Falasha, the black Jews of Ethiopia, claim descendants from these Jews who returned from Jerusalem with Solomon's son Melanik. And that is Babylon to Timbuktu, page 38 to 39. Also, African Kings and Queens, page 20, Richard Green. If the Jews were not dark-skinned people, then why are they looking for the lost tribe of Israel among the black Jews of black people of Africa? And they're really intent on finding them. Watch this. This is a Jew that went to Africa to look for the lost tribe of Israel. And he says, among the Ashantis of the Gold Coast, Ghana, are found Jews who observe many Hebrew customs. They don't fight on Saturday, but they rest. They celebrate the New Year of the Jews, which occurs in September or early October. They use the word Amen at the end of their hymn of thanksgiving. Like the Hebrews of old, they marry in their tribe only. They perform cross-cursing marriages. The Ashanti Jews also observe the laws of uncleanness after childbirth, purification ceremony of the 40th day, the menstrual seclusion law, and ceremonial absolutions. The Ashanti Jews have breastplate like the high priest in ancient Israel, and it is divided into 12 parts representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Also, they have the misnefet, or headdress, with its gold disc in front, which is in ancient Israel bore an inscription, "Holy unto the Lord," page 130. Also in the book Hebrewism of West Africa. If the Jews were originally not dark-skinned people, why are you going to look for them from among black people in Africa? And this was a Jew on a mission looking for black Jews, and he described those that he saw as being them somewhat. If the Jews were not originally dark-skinned people, known and recognized by even white political leaders, then why would European leaders led by British in 1947 decide to resettle the Jews in Uganda in East Africa? Why would European leaders decide to settle modern Jewish people who look more like Europeans than Africans in Africa? Unless they believed that originally the Jews were a dark-skinned people like their African brothers. In a book entitled The Gold Coast Akan, an Akan scholar called J.B. Dankwa asserted that Akan people migrated from the valley of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers with other tribes as the Gonja, the Bantu. See the Bantu we saw? And this man, J.B. Dankwa, died around 1940 something, after independence, which is around 60, 59, 60, around there. He died around there, and he had said this long time before modern scientists now trace the Bantu people to Israel. You know something? Okay, so J.B. Dankwa had already said that Akan people and most African people came from Tigris and Euphrates River, and he named them Gonja, Bantu, Ewe, and Ga to their present location in West Africa. I'm not going to read all of that. I'll go here. Where do I? Okay, the genetic discovery of the Lemba tribe, a Bantu-speaking people of Southern Africa, whose tradition states that a leader named Buba led them out of Judea to Southern Africa, also confirms that the black people of modern Africa used to live in the Middle East in ancient times. The story of these people also show that they lived in Judea in ancient times and in the geographical region of modern-day Yemen. I believe it will be redundant to point out that these people were black in ancient times and they are still black. 234. Dakwa. Names. If the Jews were not originally dark-skinned people and many of them Africans from the mixed multitude, remember? Mixed multitude, the people who mixed with them, they were Africans. All right? And so something must actually be kept in history. Something must give us a clue as to the identities of those who mix with the original Jews. Then why do some modern Jews still carry African names? If there was no connection, if the Egyptians were not black, and if the Jews were not dark-skinned people, let's stay there, let's not even use the word black because it has so much connotation. But if the Israelites were not black, dark, and the Egyptians were not black, then how come the Jews of today still carry African names? African tribal names are unique to specific tribes, and that means from the African names of Jewish people that still carry them, we can identify the specific tribes from which their ancient ancestors originated. You mention your name, if you're an African, especially Ghanaian, you mention your name to me, I will know exactly where you come from, what tribe you belong to. The same thing, most of the Jews today carry African names. Let's check some of them. I'm not going to go into all of that. For example, and I quoted this. For example, the name of the last Israeli prime minister who was defeated by Ehud Barak in 1999, Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, is an Europeanized version of an African tribal name, and this name has retained its etymology and phonology. And I'm quoting from an African linguist. The African name Netanyahu originates from the Ga Adangbe tribe and language, and it is a combination of two tribal names. The original tribal name from which Netanyahu was derived are Nete and Yahu. That's a Ga name. Combined and Europeanized to Netanyahu and spelled Netanyahu. These are names the Ga Adangbe people still carry, and Mr. Netanyahu can find his heritage among them. To page 267. They carry African names. If the Jews were not originally dark-skinned people, then why were the original portraits of Jesus and Mary and apostles black, only to be taken down and replaced by white figurines at the height of European racism? Sir Godfrey Higgins, himself British, in his book Anacalypsis, page 7, pointed out that the people of the Bible were black, and that in all early Catholic churches of Europe, the God Christ as well as his mother are described in their old pictures to be black people. The infant God in the arms of his black mother, his eyes and drapery white, is himself perfectly black. I'm not saying that. Sir Higgins, page 7 in his book, and is quoted by that